I just wanna slide. Parties in the sky like it's 2055. She said, boy, you nice. Boy, you nice. Heart cold like some water and some ice. Why would you sacrifice? Knowing you could die, ain't nobody by your side. I know niggas cap and bitches lie. Came from dirt, can't go back. You can see it in my eyes. Real niggas cry blood. Hope my kid never tried drugs. All I wanted was some love. Trade that for a gun. Big pack on me now. Remember back then I was fucked up. I don't really want friends. Everybody fake. I don't got trust. But I just wanna slide. Parties in the sky like it's 2055. She said, boy, you nice. Boy, you nice. Heart cold like some water and some ice. I just wanna slide. Parties in the sky like it's 2055. She said, boy, you nice. Boy, you nice. Heart cold like some water and some ice. Shorty getting energized. Living life, spill some liquor on her and it died. But she ain't tight, she just turned it up. I could get you brushed. Zaza got me stuck. Sorry, I can't open up. Fuck it, we try. Gotta compromise. He won't beef for gang, but he don't know it coming fries. That's AKs and 9s. Please don't play with mine. My body different. I know they love that line, but I just wanna slide. Parties in the sky like it's 2055. She said, boy, you nice. Boy, you nice. Heart cold like some water and some ice.
Holy shit, it's been so long since I've streamed that I don't even have the playlist here. All right, give me a sec. Let me find this. Yeah, I don't even have this playlist still. Man, what madness how long it's been. Welcome back, everybody. All right. I'll send it to you on Discord. Yeah, I know that you had it, man. I know that you were hunting for that. Good evening. Good afternoon. Welcome aboard. It's been a good long while now since the stream. So nice to be here. Nice to be chatting. Big thank you to Vector, Tensor for the stream sponsorship. Be dropping some codes this weekend as well for Vector Access. Anybody who hasn't tried Vector, you should definitely be getting involved. Because as an app, they killed it. We're going to do a little market discussion today, run through some things, discuss where we are, take any questions. Obviously, it's been a while since I've done this, and so I'm sure things have changed psychologically for you. Portfolio-wise, hopefully for the better. Obviously, the action on the charts is a lot different. And then we'll dive in and take a look at how crypto's shaping up. Feels like the audio's improved and that radio voice is now smoother. Maybe I'm just more relaxed, man. Maybe it's like a relaxation thing. Yeah, looking to be a nice close. Yeah, it certainly looks like it. I think we've had a little bit more chop today. Obviously, I don't need to recount the entire price history since we last discussed on stream, but yeah, we've been a little bit kind of like just back and forth today, just in little patches. You can see through here in terms of, yesterday into the evening, getting that sell-off, chopping through the early hours this morning. We made the move here. US Open smashes back down kind of the hour afterwards. and then very good rally straight back up to the highs. And these areas are marked in green for a reason that I'll zoom out and show you shortly, and we'll kind of discuss where I think we are in BTC right now, based on some of the very good questions actually that came from the Haven this week. I think some like really sensible questions on where are we in this cycle, where are we in this BTC process, are there any comparisons, are we concerned about the potential for the divergences that look as though they're building on BTC? The TLDR on that is no, not yet. And yeah. Do you think Popcat will retest $1? Look, I'm never going to say no, but no. I don't think there's any reason for it to go back down to $1 now. I don't see why that would be a thing for it to do. I think the $1 run was a significant one. I think getting rid of that round number, taking all of the lows over the last 3 months was significant. I think it needs to hold the area it's currently in. And if it does that, then all good for upside. All right, let's start off with higher time frame BTC then. So these are the two areas that I think are very similar on BTC. And I've been making this reference between these two areas for quite a long time. And I still think that they are very, very similar in terms of the structure, the price action that we've seen through it, and then what we're seeing kind of with the RSI also mirroring this move from 23. So here in 23, what we basically did is just grinded up this entire region. We spent from October all the way through to December. It was basically just over a month, about 5 weeks of price action through here. And we basically just grinded up. But within that grind, there were several notable sell-offs that was significant for us through this area. So you can see here, this is the first one, 6% downside. We get another one a few days later, which is another 6% downside. And we get this one from the high over here, all the way down here, which is 8.5%. So we had some significant BTC sell-offs through this region before we then accelerated away. And I think that this is very similar to where we are now. You'll also notice that what we did through this area here is we started to diverge in this extreme. So here and here is a divergence, as you can see here and here. Okay, it's a trappy divergence. We continue higher. We actually then diverge this next high as well here. Makes little difference. Sure, this is where the 8.5% sell-off comes from, but in terms of kind of derailing this trend and this movement, nothing happens. We end up getting right back down towards this 50 level, and all that's happened is price has gone up. That's all that's happened is price has gone up. And I think that we're actually in a very, very similar area right now. And for people that have been looking on Twitter, this isn't the first time that I've drawn a comparison to this area. Right? So this isn't some sort of like hindsight process on this. This is just been happening as we've been, monitoring the price action that's been developing up here. Then what we can see through this area is basically like largely the same. We start to diverge this area here. We start to diverge this area here. This is where we get this first sell-off that comes back down. But again, we're not doing anything to disrupt what has happened here or what came before it. The RSI is now moving back down. We've already got down to the 56 level here. So we're already kind of, straight back down towards that reset point. And once again, price has done very little apart from this grind to the upside. And again, what looks to be, as of right now, another very positive close for BTC on the daily. And this is going to be another daily high close for us here if we close anywhere around that 101.8 area. Yeah, and then Barrett says, isn't the 3-day more of a concern? The 3-day is just identical again. It just mirrors exactly what we're seeing down here, okay? Because what you're doing here is you're saying, this is the divergence I'm concerned about, okay? This is the div I'm concerned about. It's from here to here, okay? That's what I'm concerned about. However, what you also would have done through here is exactly the same thing. You would have said, I'm concerned about this and this. I am seeing daily divergences, and I'm concerned about this and this, okay, up here. And then all that happens is price accelerates through. Okay, and if I take this back to look at kind of, this area here, all right, this is exactly when you would have started talking about divergences being present, and being concerned about what we see through this area. Coupled with the dailies, okay, this is exactly the same. It's just exactly the same build-up. Right, so I think what people are doing is when you're looking for any potential divergence here, I think you're early. And I think you're early because I still think that we get a significant impulse away from this that moves us to the upside. Now, if we're also to take some of the evidence that we've had over the course of the last kind of, week or so, I think that's what it is. If we take some of that evidence, what we've had is a minus 11% swing on BTC. All right, so we've seen that minus 11% downside candle, which we got from here, okay, all the way down here. That was that really heavy rejection on the day that we broke through 100K and then got that really big aggression back down to 91. For me, that's a good enough sweep for us to continue upwards. Obviously, I'm not in charge of the market. It would be nice if I was. But to me, that's a good enough correction within this area at a very significant point for BTC. Because I think a lot of people were obviously, there was a lot of excitement around the 100K break. And then I also think there was then a lot of fear around the failure of 100K. And I think that event in itself did a lot to spook the market both ways. So from my perspective, I still believe that BTC breaks the upside here. I still think that we end up getting a move like we did through here. And I still think that we're going to end up getting that through this area here. So I think that these are just going to line up. And I still don't think this is a situation in which you can look at shorting into, or probably more relevant to the current psychological situation of the market. I don't think this is an area that you should be particularly nervous about. Because the longer markets go up, the more nervous people tend to get. $110K, then a drop to the mid-80s. Disagree. I think it's far more likely to get something like that. And then a sell-off against that region, not against this region. I think, to me, that's far more likely. I think that we'll probably end up, this price action here. Where's my shit, man? Yeah, I think something like that would be better. This is going to rotate again. Chop this. Then sell off against this. Leave this. Done. Like, something like that would be really nice. Whatever happens after, whatever, we're just, chatting through. Do we need more upside on BTC for miners to pump in a big way? No. Miners are always like later on movers. No, it's the same as gold. Like when you look at commodities, it tends to be you get very heavy moves in the metals first, and then you get miners that are kind of the lagging play. And miners will be exactly the same. And also, again, the other thing is like miners are still really good performers. Okay? Again, everybody's like kind of gets lost in what's actually happening. There's been a difference between markets. CLSK has been a very poor performer. RIOT's actually had a very decent week. Stuff like HUT is doing decently. Wolf is still performing fine. Coinbase is still up towards highs, right? Like there's just a difference now within that spread of crypto stocks. Mara still doing very good. But I think, again, they're all movers based on, like, if BTC shoots from 101K to 125K, they're going to have another significant move. Is there any coin nowadays that's a leading indicator before BTC moves? Yeah, MSTR has always moved pre-BTC. It was like, that's the one thing that I said about this region here. We got like the ultimate blessing. We got the ultimate blessing in them giving us MicroStrategy, because MicroStrategy broke out of this before BTC. Same consolidations. You see here, same consolidations. And MSTR breakout is here. That's the 7th of October. Right, and BTC is here on the 7th of October. So yeah, this still leads. Yeah, MSTR moved quicker back in October 23 as well. MSTR went first. So MSTR had the clearer long signal back in 23 versus BTC, and then BTC played into it afterwards. So MSTR for at least 12 months has been doing that process. So I feel as though every time that I see Sol discussed in the replies to my tweets, it makes me want to buy more. And especially the early indication of the comments on the stream, it makes me want to buy more. Because the environment seems pretty fucked on Sol. The mindset seems really bad on it, and I have no idea why. Like, this shit looks fucking great. How the fuck are you going to start bitching about this chart? This chart gave you a monthly retest of the two significant highs at 200. It's up 10% from that monthly retest. You've got a 4-hour picture that still looks decent down here and is holding on to the important level at 220. I don't get what's bad. What's bad about it? I don't get why people are concerned. I don't even think it's concern. I think that Sol, people who are more biased towards Sol, or let's say Sol represents a larger portion of their portfolio, are finally starting to realize what people holding ETH felt like for essentially 9 months of this year. Like, that's what people are starting to feel like. And so there's nothing that's like going on with Sol that's bad. You have to keep the higher time frame in mind. The monthly is just giving you a great retest area. And so far, we've done exactly from a bullish perspective what you would hope to see on Sol, which is that it's given a 10% bounce from interacting with that area. And you've now just got, a daily picture that's still in this correction period. Right? BTC did this for 8 months, remember? Okay, so BTC did this corrective period for 8 months. So I wouldn't fret too much just because, we're not immediately at $300. And yeah, the performance of Sol against other things hasn't been great at this moment in time. But just like any other time and with any other market, right, what's going to happen is you're going to sell your Sol bag to rotate into something else, and the moment you do that, Sol is going to take off. There's nothing that indicates on the Sol chart that you should be capitulating on bags or giving up the idea of Sol trading at higher prices. How high can Sol go in 2025? Would you say the same on Doge concerning rotating? Yeah, I mean, again, Doge is just correcting. Doge is just consolidating. So, again, I think like Doge is another one. It depends entirely on your entry. It's a really good market kind of for this range of thought process anyway on Doge, because it's in an awkward spot. I was discussing it last night, like the Haven video, because someone asked about Doge, and it's like, well, I don't think, if I wasn't already in position, I don't think I could position up here. I don't think I'd feel comfortable to position into Doge up here. So I can't open fresh here. When it comes to adding, yeah, sure, I could add, but then that's situational, because I can add because I've got a 10-cent entry. So yeah, of course I can add into this, and I can offset that, and I can, you know, double up the position and bring the entry to 20 cents, whatever. If you're in from 30, do you want to add here? Again, don't know. I don't know if you can do that. But at the same time, I also wouldn't be selling Doge here. Like, I wouldn't be getting out of this position. Been holding Doge for 30 days. Got absolutely having a bad time on funding and nothing to show for it. Yeah, you got to take profit. If it's on perps, you've always got to take profit. Like the process in bull markets is the following. Okay, this is the process that you employ in bull markets. All right, what you do is you get long on this market because it does this. Okay. So what you do is you say, okay, well, look, I'm gonna buy Lev here. Okay, so you say, yeah, okay, fuck it, it's a breakout trade. I'm gonna oversize my position. I'm gonna buy a ton here, okay, and I'm gonna ride this. And then what happens is the market enters a period of time where it goes like this, okay, and then funding is still staying against you, so you're still paying funding through this area, and you're now bleeding out in terms of your overall profit on the position. But then what you're also not sure is, you're not sure if the next move from here is this, or if the next move from here is this. Okay, so the way you overcome that, and especially when you're utilizing leverage, is the following. When it gets to a situation like this, after you've seen this sort of rally, and you've seen this sort of movement, and you're operating with leverage, okay, you take profit on lev positions. Okay, easy, nice one. Take profit on leverage positions, rotate that profit into spot of the same market. Okay, that's all you do. That's the bull market trick. That's exactly how you play bull markets. You buy on leverage when you want to take a trade. When it gets to a situation, if you're not sure if the resolution is upwards or downwards, and you're still paying to be in that trade, you should be taking the money out and rotating that into spot. Because then what happens is, if this move happens, you still have exposure. If this move happens, then it's easier to tolerate in terms of the downside you're experiencing versus your leverage position. Taking profit is hard when everything looks so bullish. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, when we're talking about leverage, that's how you play leverage. That's how you play bull markets. You have to take profit. Because otherwise a day will happen like we got the other day where you get minus 30% in 2 hours and everything that you've been holding for the past, 6 weeks gets obliterated. Yeah, taking profit is harder in spot. Yeah, again, but doesn't really matter. The name of this game is to make money. You make money, you have more money at your disposal, that equates to more opportunities. It's always the same. We always have the same bull market discussion. Right? When you take profit, you never feel bad about taking profit. There's never any regret about taking profit. Taking profit is always future looking. It's never backwards looking. Right? So it's like in these situations here. You see a market like this, okay? And what happens is you say, okay, well, look, I'm a buyer here. Okay, bought here. Nice, really good. Okay, like cash out here. Okay, and then what happens is the market does this. Okay, so you cash out, you bought, you cashed out, and then the market does this. Okay, and then what tends to happen here is you either rebuy through FOMO. Right, that's one thing that happens up here because you say, I never should have cashed out. I should have held this. Right, so I'm going to rebuy it. Or you're just psychologically beat down over selling lower. Okay? And all of this is short-term thinking. All of this is short-term backwards thinking. All that matters is when we get to the end of a cycle, are you happy with the profit you took? And the reason that's so important is because so many hundreds of people have sat in this stream and have said, I wish I took profit. I wish I closed when my portfolio hit X amount. I wish I closed when it hit $1. I wish I closed more, right? That's what everybody ends a bull market saying. What matters is when you get to the end of a bull market and the market looks like that on the other side, that then this actually looks pretty fucking good. So actually your cash out here, when you look at it in 6 months' time and we're trading down here, looks pretty fucking good. When you're looking at your cash out point 3 days later and price is 15, 20, 25% higher, it's going to look bad. It doesn't fucking matter at that point, right? What matters is what it looks like here. Right, so bull markets will mess you up psychologically, but everybody ends bull markets by wishing they took more profit. And the only way to avoid that is actively cashing out. Doesn't mean that you have to cash out of crypto. It doesn't mean that you need to take everything off the table. But also understand the concept that by having more capital at your disposal leads to more opportunity. You might be like all in on one coin. You might be all in on Doge. And you're emotionally attached to that position. You can't release that position because it's like, I've held this since 10 cents. I can't let it go. But if you realize that 4x, if you realize that gain in your capital, suddenly you have a huge amount more at your disposal to start thinking about how you can take advantage of other markets or other areas. All right, nice speech. Good speech. Yeah, I was talking to a friend who wasn't sure to take 200k out because he wasn't aware of other opportunity. Yeah. You have to take profit. You have to take profit. So important. GOAT. Yeah, I really like GOAT. I think it's set up really nicely on kind of the higher time frames. I think a lot of markets are doing the same thing. The way I keep on phrasing it is, over the last 24 hours, we have seen lower time frame retests of higher time frame reclaims. It sounds like a fucking mouthful, but that's the way the market is shaped up right now. GOAT is one of them, and you see that through here. So we know that somewhere in this area here, GOAT has got some support. Right, okay, we've seen multiple interactions with this area. And then again, what happened yesterday? We get the sell-offs. Okay, We come back down, we retest these lower time frame areas of higher time frame importance. Okay, so this is an area we know has had a lot of action. We got the move straight back through it. We got the retest back into it, and now we're starting to impulse away. Another very good market for what this looks like is actually NEIRO down here. You can see this one here on the 4 hour. Again, another huge area here. Higher time frame reclaim, lower time frame retest here. Okay, so another market that's doing the same thing. And I think a lot of alt markets are currently in this setup. Popcat's another one. All right, Popcat's another one through here. Okay, huge area around 120. Higher time frame reclaim here, lower time frame retest. So lots of markets doing very similar things, but all under the same bracket. And really, I think that paints the picture for this weekend as well. Right? Markets offline now in terms of Wall Street. Okay, done. Hopefully a little bit more freedom over this weekend. But there's a ton of stuff that is in this situation. I've given you 3 markets already, which are reclaims and retests of those higher time frame regions. GOAT fits into that thought process. As I said, I really like the chart. The chart on Renko also looks good, which is helpful from my system perspective. There's also a ton of markets that have immediately moved to new highs. You know, RIVN was just like, you know, rocket straight through into new highs. But yeah, I just like this market. I like the look of this market. I think everybody thought this was dead down here as well. So psychologically, very important turning point. Maybe you've got, I don't know if I was just drawing this as like meme line over here. Yeah, maybe the 12 hours more significant if you do want to look for any like meme impulse above a level. Then probably 12-hour closes above here important. But I think, again, higher time frame, lower time frame, they're really kind of linking in well at this moment in time across a number of markets. Do you see RIVN? Yeah. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. It's not super impulsy, but I think it'll do. I think the monthly is probably more important for it here. But with that divergence against these lows, with that meme diagonal that covers 2 years of price action, going to be 3 years of price action. For me at $14, it's well worth the attempt. Honestly, it's well worth the common stock exposure. I mean, if you're going for strike, I would just take 17s, 17, 18s. And then just go like shorter term, more aggressive, maybe. Because it probably just blows up like Lemonade did. Like, or RKLB. There's a number of higher time frame equities charts that are just, you know, potentially breaking out of those range lock structures. Now, RIVN is different because it's been in this monthly downtrend and sell-off structure. So we don't have the flat range. But I would have thought, again, impulses out of here should lead to higher. Yeah, I can give the miners overview. It's relatively easy to do. This market here, CLSK, acting super weak at the moment, and you simply need to wait until it's back above 15. That's the major weekly turning point for it here. Support through here, resistance here, rejection here. This needs to be back above 15. So it's CLSK weakest of the picks so far. Coin doing absolutely fine. Okay, basically hit into this 350 target region, starting to correct here. Lower time frames grinding around. Potential for us to come down against this and tag back into the 270s. Its original resistance breakout zone. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a move on this like this. But overall, still set up very, very well. And obviously, since Trump This has been, you know, in a monster rally. It's already 2x'd in that time period there. HIVE, still fine, operating outside of this trend line, bringing the RSIs back down on the higher time frame, chilling out, structurally all good. HUT, far better, been moving into the upside, super aggression against this, and so this again has been trading a bit like Coinbase. Wouldn't be surprised to see it once again challenge this area. Should everything, you know, turn to shit in the space, then this is an area I would imagine it would get into for a retest. But aside from that, it keeps on making highs for the year and everything's good on that side of things too. RIOT, starting to hopefully see some signs of breaking out of here. This is just higher time frame consolidation. We've had our movement away from the 950 area over here. And now this is just the consolidation phase. This is just the correction phase, and we want to see this push and impulse out through here. Again, I think this market is absolutely fine. RSI back down towards the 50, really positive 3-day close here, and the weekly in a decent position again, just illustrating this choppy nature through here. Then CIFR's another one. Right, CIFR down on the weekly, but once again, still trading significantly higher through this zone. Consolidation correction here, easy. And Mara. Rejecting off this area here, 2750s, was due a cool off, was one of the better performers over the last couple of weeks. It moved the most aggressively compared to everything else. Again, just needs to get through this 27 region. But again, everything's still lined up really nicely for it. And still up significantly here. Okay, so this Monday here. Already done a 2x off that, and already sitting 50% up still. Do you expect GOAT to play catch up? I mean, hopefully that would be nice. I think GOAT playing catch up would be good. Again, I think just, you know, TA perspective, I think it sets up really nicely. I think the hourly's got a ton of room to start impulsing. You know, I'd like to think that we at least get back above here. This area here is like a bit of lower time frame resistance for us, so I'd like to see us trading back above 92. Get into the dollar region would be nice. But yeah, Renko sets up really, really well for this, for basically like fresh trend to be generated here, which would also make sense given the reclaim that we've seen here. I also think PEPE looks pretty good lower time frame. So PEPE started to move through here. We then got the aggression. You remember, PEPE was a really good performer at the start of the big sell-off day that we had. And then it had pretty decent strength through the sell-off that ravaged alts. Then it had a horrendous open to the next day. And is doing okay now. And if we just check out like the higher time frames, again, you would say that nothing really is kind of a problem through here. And we'd be looking hopefully for PEPE to try and impulse again the upside through this region. Weekly still looks great for it. 3-day also still in a nice spot. Again, I think you can go early in terms of divergence here. So I think you can look at this and be tempted to think that this might be diverging. I think that's incorrect because I think that the AO would support you if that was true. I think the fact that the AO is already pushed into fresh highs is probably an indication that PEPE is going to end up making this move instead. Yeah, I've got Roblox exposure. Yeah, so that's thoughts on PEPE. I think it looks like a good weekend market as well. Yeah, BONK also looking really good. Yeah, BONK's another one that is really great on the higher time frame. The weekly retest here of the former highs is really, really solid. You got to remember as well, a lot of these markets were super fucking extended. Super, super extended. So, you know, to have these corrections, it's a really positive thing. It may not feel positive, obviously, especially if you're getting like beat up during the correction. But like we needed that. We needed that movement to the downside to clear some of the pathway and to bring us back down out of some of these really extended areas. We got some great retests on so many markets. You're actively fucking around on chain trading. Now I've got stuff like my vectors loaded, and I'm playing around with some on-chain stuff on vector, just because it's super simple for me. So doing things on that side, and then the majority of the stuff's then just going through Woo at the moment. I'm just really like doing the centralized perps trading thing when I get in the mood for trading. And then it's literally what I've been doing is every time that I've been making money trading perps, I've just been buying more spot and then transferring it back into ledgers. Like that's it. I've just been utilizing perps as a way to get more spot and to continue to relax and chill out. Did you buy hype early? No, I got the airdrop. So I also sold the airdrop early. But not too early. Like I mean, look, it could have been higher, obviously, but I was fine with the airdrop I got. It's still a ridiculous fucking number. Whiff. Yeah, I think Whiff needs to reclaim $3. That's the important one here. I think this $3 level really needs to be reclaimed. If this is going to be a higher low here, then great. Market structure can flip. So in which case, you're going to see two things happen. You're going to see a retake of $3.15 and a reclaim of $3. If you get both of those things, I think that this market is probably done in the correction. How much? I sold, I think my average sell was around $9.50, maybe. So yeah, so I think my total airdrop was, I think it was 790,000. I think was the total. It was 2 wallets. One was 600K. And one was, yeah, a bit over. Yeah, so, and of course today that would have been like 1.5 mil, but again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as you're happy with the value that you sell at in terms of, you know, essentially that money just turning up, then that's all that matters. How do you get such a big airdrop? I mean, like the airdrop was like ridiculous anyway, just because of the value and because there were no VC involvement there. So like the value was just crazy anyway. And I didn't particularly do a huge amount of volume there. So obviously you had to have traded a Hyperliquid and I had traded there, but I hadn't done anything ridiculous. I mean, sure, sure the volume was still, you know, you would look at it and say, shit, well, actually you did do quite a lot of volume, but like in general terms, it wasn't massive. I'm not a particularly massive trader when it comes to position sizes in comparison to some people. You know, like I said, I prefer my exposure now, given my swing trading nature, to be spot and stock based. So yeah, I'm sure that, you know, it's still a decent amount of volume, but, you know, I think my volume on Woo over the last, 2 weeks is probably higher than my total was on Hyperliquid. But yeah, the rewards were just ridiculous. Why has WIF underperformed major memes recently? It's old and it's too expensive. What volume was it? I've got, like, in my head, I think it was 150 million. I think. Yeah. WIF is old. It's like a boomer coin now. And yeah, it's too expensive for people. Like, why not just buy NEIRO? At a fraction of a penny. Yeah, Doge is old, but Doge has significant advantages over WIF. Popcat, I love. I love the setup on Popcat. Can you, Feetson, can you rephrase your question for me? Because, like, I want to answer it because I think it's a good question, but I want to make sure I'm understanding it correctly. I'm in Haven. I've made my money back every month on at least one copy trade. That feels very much like a paid actor comment, but I very much appreciate it. Damn, really great resource for learning too. If you're interested in learning Shill's style. Damn. You truly are. I want to know which analyst is paying you to be in here. But thank you, man. I very much appreciate it. What do you think about running a portfolio of algorithms? Brother, my IQ is like 12. What do you mean a portfolio of algorithms? I can barely say the word. I definitely can't type it. And there's no way I'm having a portfolio of them. All right, I think ETH is good. I know that people were asking about ETH. I think ETH is good. I'll lay out the overall thought process that I have on ETH here, okay? And I'll lay out the concerns for it as well. So firstly, I'll start off by saying I think there's a decent chance that this is getting close to bottoming here. I think there's a decent chance that this is getting somewhere towards the bottom phase. This chart here, the cash pair, I think did a really good job yesterday in terms of getting back down to an important zone. There's a nice little pocket of demand inside here for this strong move that led to the highs for ETH. And it's also a relatively decent interaction point on lower timeframes for it. So I think you want to really be holding this. Now, obviously, when you're looking at ETH here, you could say, oh shit, it looks as though it's just about to puke down this side. Ideally not, and we just start to stabilize up here. Now, the concerning side for this is that I think a lot of people will start thinking this has the potential to be a lower high against this, which means that then we're looking for lows down here. And then I think this area here would be called into question, and so you're basically getting that run. Then you've got this set of lows down at 3K that never got run when we finally decided to break clear of it. So you end up in a world of basically like fucking around if that situation developed. But I wanted to cover off that negative angle first. I think that, you know, the 3-day and the weekly, I think, look very good through here. The weekly still has a ton of potential room to the upside. I don't think there's any concerns with divergences or any slowdown in momentum. Everything feels clean on the ETH side of things. Ideally, we get a close above this red line here around 38.30. I think weekly closes above and maintaining above where these two weekly highs are is probably a good step. If we don't manage to do that, again, it feels way too soon to be making any big decisions on what we think is going to happen to ETH. Like, I don't think I'd be comfortable in being like, oh yeah, ETH is gonna do this if this happens. Like, at this stage, I think it looks fine. Like, I would need more information in the chart to be able to try and, you know, accurately predict where I think we go post that. Again, even from, you know, kind of like we look at this region here and lower time frame, we might break down here. But because it's the weekend, I think that, you know, again, if we challenge some of these lows and then we just enter like this period, then fine as well. Yeah, 100x short here is fine because your liquidation is going to be above this anyway. So either it breaks down and you're right and you make a nice bag, or you're liquidated when it fails. That's fine. That's perfect risk reward for it. 100x is probably pussy leverage anyway. Do you have any strategies to avoid burnout when you're staring at charts all day? Yeah, don't stare at charts all day. You don't. There has to be a reason why you're looking to do that. And typically it's just because the behaviors are wrong. You probably don't need to be doing the things that you're doing, which means that you're staring at the chart all day. Like I went into a phase this week, actually. I've been in it for the last 2 weeks, but I really noticed it over the last 48, 72 hours, where I've been at the charts a lot. I've been trading a lot. I've been trying to stay as in tune with the market as I possibly can. And what tends to happen with me in particular is, because the majority of the time I'm just sat in spot or swing trading or holding stocks, I tend not to be that zoned in on kind of like trading activity. And then my process is that suddenly I start looking at the charts and I start getting into the trading side of things. And then suddenly I'm staying up really late at night just staring at the charts. Then I'm trading more and more. The sleep cycle's getting worse. The trades are getting more frequent. The taking the phone out of the pocket to look at the charts while I'm on the move is also more important. I'm suddenly not leaving the house to do things anymore. And then, you know, basically you get to, you know, the situation that it was like 48 hours ago, where suddenly I realized I left the house once in 7 days. I'd just been in the office, just hitting the charts, hitting trades. Had like the thing that when I went into the real world outside, everybody felt like an NPC. I was just like, it was just like so dissociated from reality. And yeah, so I get into phases where I go into it and then I hit my burnout phase, right? I hit my burnout where either I start making trading mistakes or I just have that moment of enlightenment where I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck are you doing? You know, like, get the fuck away from the charts, get the fuck away from, you know, trading, buy some spot, get off the PC again. So, yeah, I go through phases. So, like the burnout phase, I think, again, you need to appreciate what is it you're doing. Are you, like, really in the trenches trying to grind and, you know, hit trades all the time? Are you over trading? Is your behavior of being there over trading? Are you doing that shit because you're addicted to doing it? Is it some form of addictive quality that's actually keeping you there? So you need to find out what the reason for the behavior of being there so regularly is. and then learn to change so you don't reach that burnout phase. Because if it's a healthy thing, if it's a thing as though you're like, okay, well, I can separate from it, then it's a case of you need to start setting some boundaries for yourself in order to be able to do that. What do you mean by trading mistakes? For me, it's over trading. For me, it's man, trying to explain this is like that question felt like a very like therapy based question for me to answer. Like I can feel the cogs turning in my head when I go to answer it. So when my personal trading mistakes and my personal trading issues arise from, because I have a process of trading which works on like a domino effect. Okay, one thing happens, then my anticipation is this thing happens, then the next thing, then the next thing. Right, so like divergences, reclaims on time frames that then lead through other time frames. Sometimes a lot of my trading mistakes come from over anticipation. So I move too quickly for things because in my head, everything lines up and I get into position too quickly, right? Versus waiting for better confirmation or anticipating actually we might just chop around for another couple of days. I get too eager to enter positions. Right? It's like, I'm like, right, do it now because you can see this, this, and this. The dots all connect, done, in position, go. And another problem that I tend to face in these conditions is that I size up too aggressively too quickly. So versus having that more relaxed approach, I tend to size too quickly again because I can connect the dots very quickly. So my personal trading mistakes usually come, and I know I've hit that point when I have like a couple of failed trades that don't materialize the way in my head they were supposed to go, is usually because I'm down that path. And as I said, I'm either overtired, staring at the charts too much, I'm too deep in it, right? And I need to like separate myself. Pierre said himself that he spent 16 hours a day staring at charts during the bull market. Do you think it's necessary to maximize profit? It's not all about profit maximization. A lot of it is also about just awareness and understanding of how the markets operate and move. So a lot of it is building up association or knowledge of markets. It's not just necessarily opportunity that you're constantly looking for. Because the vast majority of traders would also tell you that the best thing that they ever could have done was not trade and just hold spot. The majority of people that you look at their Twitter, like if you could take them back to the very start of their crypto journey and say, all right, you can just hold spot or you can trade, 95% of them would just hold spot and never touch a leverage trade. Okay, we got the rework question. Okay, do you think you should keep your coin basket smaller so your altcoin performance has more impact on your wallet, or instead buy more coins so you have more possibility to get better performing coins? The first. Have more conviction in the markets that you like. The markets you like can either be because technically they set up in a really nice way. Right? They've got higher time frame supports or divergences or whatever, right? They have really strong technical signals. Or it's because it's a market that fundamentally or narrative based you believe has the opportunity for really good upside. And focus bets. People who spread money around, it's a really, for me, like a silly thing to be doing in bull markets. I think you should concentrate bets and focus more on the good performing stuff and the stuff that you want to be holding versus trying to spread around in finding a winner. Because even then, when you get a winner, your wins aren't even that meaningful. Right? They don't start shifting the needle because sure, you might have got a winner on one market, but your other 9 coins went minus 80%. So for me, it's better to have more conviction on the markets that set up very strongly for you And also then what you tend to do is, even getting to that conclusion, you've put more time and effort into the portfolio crafting process versus like the scattergun approach of just saying, yeah, buy $500 of this, $500 of that, $500 of this coin. And that's, you know, usually not that wise. Yeah, Link. Good correction on Link, lower time frame through here. Higher time frame, we've seen obviously Link's been very aggressive recently in the pushes. Good movement here as well. Don't think it diverges this. It would be a very unusual divergence. I suspect the lows would be probably 26s if we get back down there and there's kind of more aggression to the downside. I think this area here should be holding. 4 hour would also make it nice. And I suppose we've already had the retest into here at 2680 as well. So you could probably say that that's also pretty clean. Hourly coming back down as well. I think, you know, as long as you're holding above this 2660 area, I think you're probably still fine on Link. If you're looking at actively trading this, it's a more difficult market, and I think there's better opportunities for you than this one. If you're in spot positioning from lower, again, I just don't think you want to see 2660 lost, really. But apart from that, like I said, I think there's better markets in terms of active trading. You know, the stuff that looks a little bit more impulsive, stuff like PEPE maybe, that kind of would deserve your increased focus on a trading front. What's a non-crypto skill or hobby that surprisingly helped you as a trader? Playing video games. Holding spot is not trading? Well, I mean, it is. Like, it definitely is. It's investing. No, spot is just a mechanism. Spot is just a mechanism for exposure. It's not investing. Like, I can choose to buy spot because I've got $5 million of capital. I don't want to buy $5 million of Bitcoin, but I'm going to sell my $5 million of Bitcoin when it becomes $5.5 million of Bitcoin. And I can do that via spot. So it's just a vehicle. It doesn't mean that if you buy spot, it's an investment that you don't touch. It's just that I'm choosing not to use leverage for my $5 million. Right? But typically, yes, we talk about spot and you would speak about somebody who wouldn't want to touch their spot until higher prices. But it's not correct to say that spot isn't trading. Lots of people buy spot to not use leverage. A two-sided question. What's your edge? And what would you like to improve? My edge is momentum. I'm very good at spotting when the market has momentum and I'm able to ride that and be aggressive into it. So I'm very good at snowballing things very quickly from like a trading perspective. And then the other side of that has probably been in kind of the last 2 years has probably been my swing trade improvement has been like monstrous in terms of the holds that I've managed. And then what would I like to improve? Reduction in mistakes. That's still a thing, especially on the trading front. I think, you know, probably my average win percentage from a trade side of things is probably low 20%. I would have thought 22, 23% win rate. I think that can probably get higher if I eliminated some of the mistakes. But yeah, I think, yeah, probably just that. Penis size, room for improvement. Not a chance. What's a mistake you see almost every beginner trader make? And why do you think it's so common? Failing to take profit. Failing to take profit is the main mistake. I think you get so many people that run up really good leveraged accounts and they either don't take profit on trades or they don't take profit off exchanges when they're able to do so. So I think that's probably the big one. And again, if you look kind of historically at bull markets, it's always a problem that haunts people as well. Yeah, I ran 1K to 15K after the last flush and I'm at 4K. Yeah, man, that's a classic. That really is a classic. Because again, like the mind is such a powerful fucking thing. You know, you catch really good entries, let's say on the flush day. So you take your 1K, all of a sudden you 15x it because you caught the right entries at the right time. But your mind doesn't want you to take profit on the 15x. It wants you to hold because it convinces you it was the bottom. It convinces you that if you hold, that's it. It's going to six figures. So your mind is a crazy thing when it comes to the trading side of things, regardless of what you turn in terms of profit. Like people can turn around and make their yearly salary in a trade and they won't close the position. Like, and you always have to rationalize this. Like the trading side of things is fucking mind blowing. If you got someone and you're in employment and your boss comes up to you and says, hey, do you know what? Click these two buttons here and I'll give you your annual salary today. And you're basically saying, no, hold up. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to click those two buttons and get my annual salary today. Because I think what might happen is over the course of the next 12 months, I might get 6 promotions and my salary is actually going to be higher in 12 months' time. So don't worry about that. That shit's not happening. You're taking the money all day long. But yet when it comes to trading and when it comes to the optimism that we have, especially when we catch good entries and we see profit going up very quickly, the same happens on the meme coin side of things all the time. Right? The shit you bought at $1 million market cap goes to a $25 million market cap. And now suddenly in your mind, that meme coin that you bought is now going to be on Coinbase. It's going to be listed on Binance. You're now in the Discord. You're now absorbing all of the news from the community in the Discord. Everybody's hyping themselves up together. And so you have to be consistently profit taken. And like we discussed right back at the very start of the stream, like consistent profit taking is super important because it enables you to do more with your money. You have more at your disposal. If you are taking profit out of the market, you now have more money available to access other opportunity. What about for spot holders? Exactly the same. Exactly the same. You have to take profit. Like, what does spot matter if you're not taking profit anyway? Like, what does it matter? You have to be taking money out. And the spot side is exactly the same because you realize profit on something and you roll that into other stuff. People always think about, like I said before, about Doge, and people get very emotional about the things that they buy that are up a lot. and you start to have an emotional attachment to your spot positions. So you'll buy something and then it goes up a lot and you won't want to take profit on it because you'll look at the entry and you'll say the entry's fucking great. Why would I take profit on this? It's going to go higher. So why would I take profit on this? And you're just doing like other shit, you know? So you got to just cash out. You got to get that shit sorted. And then like you turn your 25K into 100K. You suddenly got 100K like to buy 25 grand's worth of 4 different markets or 50K of 2 different markets. Like, you mentioned not taking profit is the biggest mistake people make. Do you think there can be exceptions? For example, you enter 200K, which is a lot of your dollars. You bought the nut bottom of the bear market, and your goal is to ride it to 3 to 4 million to be able to retire, while also having years of experience in the market. I think in general, for sure, take profit, but if you're willing to accept risk to be able to live off an investment dollar in the future. Yeah, but 99% of people aren't in that position. 99% of people didn't buy the absolute bottom of the bear market. Everybody in this chat is looking around for opportunity on a daily basis, right? So yeah, of course, like in the exception that you've made there, right? That's the Pico bottom that you bought, and then that's it. Like, but that example is so incredibly rare that it isn't necessarily applicable even as a counter exception to the rule of taking profit. The vast majority of people also don't have 200,000 at their disposal to buy the Pico bottom of a bear market with. People are still very, very much pre that journey. What's the difference between taking out of one bag and spreading to 2 other bags? Well, because the 2 other bags might have better looking charts. The 2 other bags might be more recent markets. And shouldn't taking out or cashing out be taking money to the bank account? Well, again, that's your choice. If you want to realize cash into the bank, that's fine. If you want to keep money in the ecosystem, that's fine. All right. Let's wrap up there. We've been an hour and a quarter and we've talked about plenty, and I need to eat some food. Thoughts on the CRV trade? Very close to invalidation. Yeah. That's why the stop loss is there, man. Honestly, that CRV trade, kind of hope it gets stopped out, honestly. The amount of fucking micro bullshit analysis that's gone on since that trade. I'll just be relieved, honestly. I think everybody else would be able to sleep better as well. All right, so a big thank you for joining me again. It's really nice to get back on stream and to thrash things out and discuss some bull market psychology. And we really started to kind of like open up some stuff there as well. So that was really nice. Started to dive into topics a little bit more, started to get people to open up again. That was good. Obviously, I've had a few weeks off. I've had a few weeks break away from streaming. Few reasons for that. You know, it's been very, very busy on my side, first of all. And then secondly, there's only so many times that I can answer the same questions. And so mentally, I need a bit of a reset and a break. Otherwise, I just come in here and just shit talk everybody because I'm so frustrated with answering the same shit week on week. And also, I think that the conditions have made it so that actually a lot of discussion really isn't required. And I say this sometimes from inside the Haven, that there's sometimes there gets to periods in the market where actually the additional commentary is actually unnecessary and sometimes distracting and unhelpful. And so because the conditions have been very positive, it's kind of been not necessarily worthwhile discussing. So yeah, so as I said, that's kind of why I've been MIA for a little bit, but we're going to do another stream next week. We're going to do kind of a 2024 roundup. We're going to take a look at some of the best moments of 2024. We're going to take a look at some of the kind of, best markets over the year. Some of the people's favorite markets, some of the nice success stories of 2024. And we'll do like a nice end of year wrap up for 2024. So that will be a nice way to wrap up this year and then kickstart us into 2025. Yeah, Garibaldi. I'm streaming on Twitter as well, so don't worry. The views on Twitch are always a lot lower at the moment. But yeah, we've had nearly 10,000 views on stream, so the people are still here. Even though Twitch may feel a little quieter. All right, so everybody have a wonderful weekend ahead. I hope that everything goes well. Hopefully you can take a bit of time off the charts if you want to. If you don't want to and you want to keep on powering through, then good luck to you out there in the trenches as well. And I'll catch you guys next week where we'll do the 2024 summary. And I'll also be asking for your help this week with a range of questions as well to help me prepare for that and some of your experiences over the last 12 months and what you've been through this year. And we'll have a nice long stream next weekend to cover everything off and chat through as we approach the holiday season. So thank you for joining me. Lovely to be back. Lovely to be chatting. Refreshed. Revitalized. Rejuvenated. Have a wonderful weekend.